Hey, y'all. Welcome to Late Night with Bridget and Holly. I'm your host, Bridget.
And I'm your host, Holly.
And y'all, tonight we're going to discuss, are you a strict or a lenient parent? And get into some details as to why. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell here on YouTube. And if you don't want to listen to us on YouTube, you can listen to us on any channel that you listen to your favorite podcast. And if we're not on there, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll get on there. But we air every Tuesday and Thursday, or Friday night, Tuesday and Friday night at 11 p.m. I'm all mixed up today. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, we'll get it right,
It
though.
happens. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. So anyhow, we're going to discuss the parenting styles, like strict or lenient, and which one do you think's better? And because I've always heard, like, don't be friends with your kids, you have to be a parent. But I have a saying, and the saying goes that strict parents raise sneaky kids. I think if you're super strict on your kids and you see no evil, you speak no evil, and you hear no evil, they just learn how to get by with stuff and sneak around you, rather than be honest with you. So
Right.
Holly, to start it off, how do you feel? What are you thinking, and how are you with
Um.
JoJo?
Now, to hear her say it, we are strict parents. But what she considers strict is, and I would like your opinion on this as well.
Okay, when
So
you
let's
say
just
her,
say,
you mean JoJo, right? You're saying to
yeah,
hear her say it, JoJo. Okay.
yeah. So let's just say she's got a friend named Beverly. Okay, and her
Beverly.
and Beverly meet in school.
Okay.
Well, she wants Beverly. Beverly wants JoJo to spend the night with her.
Mm.
So she asks, can she spend the night? And we tell her, you could spend the night. We just need to meet the parents, see where they live, get it, talk to them, see who they are. No, they don't do that now these days. And I'm like, I'm not just going to send you to a stranger's house when I
Mm-hmm.
know nothing about their parents. Beverly
Mm-hmm.
could be the best kid in the world, and her parents could be crackheads.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly could be the worst kid in the world, and her parents are angels. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're wanting to go spend a night with a friend that you've only brought attention to us that, hey, this is my friend. No, we're not going to do that.
Mm-mm.
And she thinks that that's being too strict. For
Mm.
us, the world has changed so much, and I try and stress this to her, is not how it used to be back in the day. But even back in the day, if we wanted to spend the night with our friends, our parents had to meet, and then it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so
Mm-hmm.
much bad stuff in the world, and just like I explained to her, I fear, what if we were to let you go to these friends' house and the dad done something to you, or the brother done something to you, or somebody done something to you? That's us being irresponsible as parents, just letting you go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel on that. And then, there's some things like going to the football games by herself. You know, I mean, she's only 15,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a lot of fights at the football games. You hear of like gun shootings and fights and cutting, stabbings, and all that. So she thinks we're too strict because if we were to let her go to the football game, we would go with her. But we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't sit with her. She would sit with her friends, but we're there. She needs us just, to keep an eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like that's being strict. She
Right.
feels like we're strict parents because of that. I call it us being safe because
Yeah.
I literally told her this last night in the car. I said, you don't, because she'll say, I'm not going to be like this with my kids. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I promise you, you will. She's like, no, I
Mm-hmm.
won't. I'm like, okay. And I told her, and I'm hoping it made sense to her finally. I said, you don't understand that we have you until you're 18 years old. When
Mm-hmm.
you turn 18, you get to go and do whatever you want to do. And you're not with us. We try our damnedest to protect you and
Mm-hmm.
teach you stuff to make you aware. So when you're out there in this world, you're
Mm-hmm.
not blindsided, and that
Yeah.
you're careful and smart when making your decisions. And it's like I told her, I was like, if you're off in college and you're in a frat house and they're getting drunk and stuff like that, we can't protect you from that. We can only
Mm-hmm.
hope we raised you to be smart enough to know, hey, I need to get myself out of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I need to do. I said, you don't understand. I said, we'll always be your parents. and take care of you. But once you're gone, that protection is gone. It's from
Mm-hmm.
a distance, and we can't be with you step by step by step. But
Right.
what do you think I'm wrong on that, or what do
Mm-mm.
you think?
No. And the kids nowadays, I'm going to share something with you, okay? Because my kids clued me in on it. The kids nowadays, they're saying, parents ain't like that no more. You don't have to meet the parents anymore. That's not true. They're telling you that because they don't want to have to go through that or they're embarrassed by it, but that's not true. I cannot tell you one set of parents that I know that would be offended that you want to meet them before you let your child spend the night.
Right.
It's just not happening. I just don't. If somebody
No.
would say, well, Mom, I want, if Brittany would say, Mom, I want so and so to spend that, but her parents want to meet you first, I wouldn't be like, meet me? Why would they want to meet me? You know,
Right.
I'm going to understand that because I've been there. I would actually be more offended if the parents didn't want to meet me. But let JoJo know that I am what you call a very lenient parent, but my daughter got to spend the night with very, very few people. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Little to none. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I might meet the parents and like them. I might meet the siblings and like them, but I don't know your uncle that comes in and out of that house. I don't know your neighbor that comes in and out of that house. I don't know your grandpa that comes in and out of that house. And any one of those could be the nicest person ever, but I will never let my child do that. Let me tell you something else. There was a lady, she's on TikTok and she is a an attorney
Uh huh.
and a prosecuting attorney, and she says that she'll never let her child spend the night with nobody because it is preachers, it is businessmen. It is people that you wouldn't think would do something
Yep.
like that. And they're
Yeah.
being
She's exactly right.
prosecuted for molesting children that spent the night with them.
Uh
Okay.
huh.
So my thing is, no, I don't. Because what JoJo doesn't understand, if you are irresponsible and just let her go and she's abused, sexually abused, you can't take it back. You
And
can't
that's
undo it.
exactly what I told her too. I was like, I
It's already
can't
done.
take that mental and physical abuse from you, and this has fucked up your whole entire life. You might
Yeah.
turn to drugs, you might not go to college or go to college and drop out,
Yep.
end up pregnant at an early age. And no offense to
Yep.
anybody who's pregnant at that age, but still,
Yep.
and like I'm so glad to hear you say
Mm-mm.
that, because for example, Monk, her best friend Andrew, you know, I met his mom. I talked to his mom. We talked through texts and stuff. And so before he spent the night, I had to talk to her because I don't know his mom. I knew him, and he's a sweet kid, but I didn't, know who his mom and dad and stuff
Mhm.
was. And
Mhm.
we texted on the phone, and she was telling me his favorite things and all that. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. I was like, all right. And then we all four went out and eat together.
Mhm.
Like it. You want to know where your child is staying. They could say, I'm going to stay tonight with Susie, and they're spending the night with Tom and getting it on in the back of a
Mhm.
minivan down by the
Mhm.
river.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and when it comes to that, like, I always tell my kids when it comes to them actually, like, themselves wanting to be sexual with someone, talk to me.
so
Talk
you
to
can
me.
prepare them.
If you're dating somebody and you feel like your relationship has elevated to that level, talk to me. I'm no prude. I did the same thing you did, and I would rather be safe than sorry and have you protected. You can do as much in 5 minutes as you can 5 hours. You can sneak off to the family bathroom at the mall, so I'm
The
not
bleachers at
stupid.
school.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I will get you protected. I want you to be smart. I always tell my kids, if you drink, if you do drugs, let me know so I can come pick you up. You're not drinking and driving. I don't
Yeah.
want one mistake becoming two. It wasn't that I was okay with them doing those things. It was the fact that I knew they were going to do them, and I wanted
Anyway,
to, yeah, I wanted to teach them to do it the right way, the safe way.
the smart way.
um but as far as spending the night with people, my boys got to spend the night with some of their male friends, but not until they were in high school. they
Yeah.
they were in high school, because that way if something did go down or something did go wrong, they could speak for themselves and tell me, and they couldn't be as easily influenced. Brittany
When
still
you're a
didn't get to
small
even in
child.
high school, and she hated that at the time, but now that she's older
She
and
thanked you for
she
it, probably.
She does. And she does because, and I know she won't mind me talking about this because, it happened to her. But, when she got older and she was no longer under my every bit control, she was 19, 20 years old. She went and she would meet people on Facebook, and it used to worry me to death. And I said, really wish you wouldn't do that. I really wish you wouldn't do that. But she was at age to where, she could lie to me, and she drove and she could tell me she was here and she could go there. So I'd rather her be honest, because if she went on these dates with strangers, I want to know where she was and what she's doing.
Right.
So she went and met this one guy, and I think I've told y'all this story, but you need to tell JoJo this.
You told me
Which,
this story, but you've not told it on our social media. So I think it's
yeah,
good that you're sharing this because y'all pay
it
attention to
helps
this
me.
story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyhow, I feel like I've always had mothers have a connection with their children. There is a piece of us that's always in them and a piece of them that's always in us. And I don't care what anybody says. Time, space, distance can separate you. You still know what your kids are going through. So she had went and met this guy, and they went to eat, and she called me and she's like, he's nice. He's this, he's that. He's wanting us to go back to his place and watch some movies. I'm like, Brittany, I don't feel good about this. And she's like, and Mom, I think it's okay. But you've got my location, because I've always, to this day, she's 25. I still have her share her location with me, because you
Mm-hmm.
never know. You never know.
You
So
don't.
anyhow, she goes down there. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there and I feel absolutely horrible. I feel this feeling come over me that I just wanted to run out of my skin. And I messaged her. I called her right away and I said, Brittany, are you okay? She said, yeah, I'm fine. I said, Brittany, are you sure that you're okay? And she said, yeah. I said, if you need me to get you out of there, I can make it. She said, no, I think I'm okay. But I could tell something was wrong. I couldn't shake the feeling. I could not shake it. And anyhow, a little while later, she calls me and she's crying. And I'm like, what's going on? She goes, I just got out of there. She said, Mom, it was awful. And I asked her what happened. And the guy did not rape her, but he coerced her and made her feel as if he was going to hurt her. And I said, well, why, when I called, didn't you
She
tell
didn't
me?
listen to him.
She said, I was scared. She said, I was scared that if he could hear you talking, and I was scared if I said any different before you could get to me, I would be hurt. And I said, man, but I felt it. And she learned from that incident right there. You don't go meet up with strangers. You don't go back to
Yep.
strangers' houses. And the thing that JoJo don't understand is when you let her spend the night with people, it is your due diligence to make sure who she's staying with and all the people that come in and out of that house. And because you can't, it's better for her never to spend the night with nobody.
Right.
I've always told my daughter, you have who you want over here. As many of
That's
your
what I
friends as
say.
you want.
Yeah.
You can have 10 girlfriends over here on Friday night, but it's going to be here because I know who's in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I know who comes in and out of my house. And
It's
like
not
I
just an
said,
open revolving door.
exactly. Exactly. And there was a couple people I let her spend the night with that I had gotten to know really well, and I knew their family and who lived around them and stuff.
Yeah.
But even with that, there was a couple incidences that were questionable that probably shouldn't have happened, and that wasn't really okay with me, but it happened. So, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything bad. It was just,
Yeah.
one of the things that you'd been like,
A little
oh,
bit of a
really?
red flag.
Yeah, I'd rather
Kind
you
of.
that not happened. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be they got to drink a little bit or whatever, I still would have rather known what my child was doing. So I'm with you on that, JoJo. I'm a very lenient parent, but I'm with your mom and dad on that. Absolutely not.
And see,
Absolutely
I
not.
feel like we're lenient parents because I too have had, the talk with her that, I'd rather you come to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I've said I'd rather wait till you are older,
Oh yeah.
18 or older and stuff. And I'm realistic. I'm not the parent who's going to say I'd rather wait till you're married.
Yeah.
That hardly ever happens. This is not fucking Disney,
Yeah.
So I always told her, when you're ready, just come to me, and I'll make sure you're just protected. Same
Yeah.
with like if she wants to drink, you can drink, but we'll do it under our roof.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay with it as long as you are here because I know what you're doing and you're in a safe spot.
Yep. Yep.
So it does make me feel good to know that I'm not strict. I mean, I came from a family of my dad being chief of police for 14 years,
Yeah.
and my mom was the town clerk. Then she went to working with her sister, Tammy's mom, my Aunt Shirley, at the most popular convenience store in our town.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get away with anything. So yeah, we did do sneaky stuff. It wasn't like terrible, terrible things. That I go to
Yeah.
bars and drink when I was, 16 years old? Yeah. I did. And they had no idea where I was, but it eventually did come out.
Yeah.
I couldn't get away with it for too long, and it eventually come out, and I got in trouble. Tammy got in trouble because she's 7 years older than me. She was the one taking me and
Yeah.
buying the alcohol and stuff. But I mean, I had to say it's memories that I wouldn't change. But
Right.
my parents, they were more strict on us than I am with her.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I'd like to talk about too is I would like to talk about chores when it comes to giving them to your kids. Like, what do you think is too much? What do you think's not enough? Do you think that kids should even have chores?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I do
My
too.
kids, every Saturday morning, they had to wake up. We had the rooms all written down, like kitchen, living room, boys' bathroom, family bathroom, master bathroom. We had all the rooms wrote down, and they
Hmm.
had to draw. Each one of them had to draw what rooms they were supposed to clean that day. And you had to clean those rooms spick and span Saturday before you could go out and play. But let me explain to you why. It is our job as parents to prepare our kids for life. And when they
Thank
move out on their
you.
own, they've got to learn to clean up after themselves. They've got to learn to do this, because I will tell you, none of them like cleaning the bathrooms. They hated the idea that they had to go in there and scrub a toilet that other ones had pissed and shit in. But who's going to scrub your toilet when you're an adult? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. JoJo loves cleaning the bathroom for some reason. That's one of her favorite. Like, she'll do it, and I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
no, no, I got it."
Mm,
She's like, "I love cleaning the bathroom." I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, how about it?"
Yeah. No, I think kids should have daily chores,
Mm-hmm.
and they should have weekly chores. But I definitely think they should have chores. And if you are having chores and you're getting an allowance, that's a bonus, because I think you should just have to do it, because we don't get paid to do it when we get older.
No, and we work,
Mm-mm.
and like I think she has it, made like she'll tell me like, oh, some of my friends don't have chores, but then you got some who do, and I feel like and I think she probably would tell you too, her chores are easy. The only thing that she has to do, because I do clean, even though I work, I clean, but when I'm at work, and now when she's out of school, she does help me clean, but I try and do the majority of the clean unless I don't feel good or something. But when I'm at work and she's home, the only thing she has to do is take care of the littles, Gracie and Sadie. Give them food and water, change their puppy pad if they need it. Wash whatever dishes her and her daddy dirty up, because I meal prep during the week. So when I meal prep,
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10 times the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen is clean. There's only been a couple of times where, excuse me, where I have been in a rush, where I
Mm-hmm.
have cooked for them and I wasn't able to wash the dishes.
Right.
But I meal prep, I make sure everything's clean. So the day starts off fresh. So I'm
Yeah.
like, just whatever dishes you and your daddy dirty up before you go to bed,
Yeah.
just wash them up. And
Yeah.
then sweep the kitchen and the living room if needed. You know,
Oh, Lord.
with
Yeah.
with Bailey passing away, we don't have to sweep every single day now. We could sweep or vacuum every couple of days because she sheds so bad. And it's not a lot. Keep your room clean because that's your personal space, and just tidy up. I
She
mean,
would
that's
she
really
would
not a
think that
lot.
I was treating her like Cinderella, because if it was me, the way your work schedule is,
Uh
on
huh.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, she would have to cook. I would tell her to have the full meal on the table when I get home.
Oh
And she would have to clean those dishes. Yes. And she would have a daily chore, as well as weekly chores, because she needs to be prepared for a family that she's going to have to cook for,
yeah.
and
Well,
this is her learning time.
she does have like our week chores because, like, for example, like when we do laundry, I'll wash up the laundry or she'll wash it up. We'll bring the basket out. She does, of course, her own laundry, but she'll
Mhm.
help me with mine. I pull all the laundry out. I say I need this many hangers, da 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 da. When I cook, especially if I cook, like
Mhm.
I love that about her. Like she knows to wash the dishes after I've cooked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because she does, I feel like help me out so much during the week. When I'm off, if I'm cooking, I'm gonna wash my own dishes. Why? Because I
Oh
wash
yeah.
as I cook anyway. But
Yeah.
anytime, like if I cook breakfast and it's a lot, she'll wash dishes. Then when I cook dinner, she washes them up. So she definitely does that. And I told her that like I've seen people who have not been raised the right way when it comes to cleaning, and you don't want to live like that. You don't want to live in a house
Yeah.
of filth
Yeah.
because it can bring so much from ants to roaches to
Yeah.
mice. Like it causes. I mean, it can make
Yeah.
stick too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you you need to learn how to keep a clean house. And I will say, I think it's good for her because there's things that she's doing. Like she thrives on her room being clean. I
Yeah.
love that about her. And she's
Yeah.
only 15 years old. She's forever cleaning out her closet, throwing away things. And she's like, do I really want this? And I don't wear this anymore. But she keeps her room
That's
like
good.
awesome and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much on the same page.
On
Now,
that. Yeah.
curfew. What do you think should be a reasonable curfew for a young teenager from like up to about 15, 16, as to where when they're, well, we'll go by grades. What do you think curfew should be up until you get until probably I say about the 11th or 12th grade, and if they should have a curfew?
I think it depends on what they're doing. So
Uh,
let's say they want to go, to the skating rink one night and the skating rink don't close till 10:30. I'll give you till 11 o'clock to be home. But
uh,
generally speaking, if you're just out running the street with your friends, under 15, 10 p.m. From
yeah.
15 to say, in high school, 15 to 18, I'm going to say, or 17, I'm going to say 11. Sometimes when you're in senior and you're making good grades, I would say 12 sometimes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
during the week, it used to be for my kids, it was between 10:30 and 11 through the week. On the weekends, you got to stay out till 12. Um,
Okay.
and I even did that with my boys. Their 12 o'clock was their curfew on the weekends, and
Okay. Never roll it
because
in.
anything after 12 o'clock, they're up to no good. It's up to no good.
Um, relationships.
Hmm.
What's your take on, like, how old was Cece when she got her first boyfriend? When did you allow her to get her first boyfriend? And same with your boys. What was their age when they could have a girlfriend and stuff?
Well, a teenager, 13, 14, 15, they started having little boyfriends and girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Brittany was in a serious relationship. She started dating a guy when she was 13, and she dated him for 3 years. She dated him till she was
Oh,
16. Yeah. And they were pretty close early on. And I didn't oppose it. You know what I'm saying? I was okay with it as long as it's healthy for them, as long as it's not affecting their grades, as long as it's not affecting their mental or emotional health. You know what I'm saying? I think it's okay. And I went for a person by person basis. My son, his first true love, he started dating her when he never got in a serious relationship until he was like 16 or 17. I think he was
oh
almost
wow.
17. Yeah, and it was good. The first year was great. But then it was like she started kind of being hard on him, and mentally and emotionally it started being taxing on him. Well, that's
Oh
when I'm
no.
not okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't blame you.
okay. But for the most part, I didn't mind any teenage, because you got to understand, teenagers now are more mature than we were at that age.
A lot more
So
mature.
and they're going, and they start doing everything sooner. So I was okay with 13, 14, 15 having boyfriends and girlfriends, but as long as they could handle it emotionally.
And see, that's well, about the relationship that Joanna was in. She
Mm-hmm.
was with her boyfriend for 2 years, and he was living down here, and then he, of course, ended up moving away, and so it ended up being more of a long distance relationship and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, like, she's she doesn't like to hear this, but I feel like she's so much wiser for her age. She's so
Mhm.
much more mature for
Mhm.
her age because she knows what she wants out of
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
She knows that, and she's not going to let anybody or anything bring her down,
Yeah.
whether it be a man, a woman, or just something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I admire her so
Mhm.
much for that because she's so headstrong and knows where she wants her life to be.
Yeah.
She knows what whoever her partner is going to be. She knows what she expects from them.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that for her, and that was her first serious
Relationship.
relationship, and she
Yeah.
was good at it. Like she stood up for herself, and not that she had to stand up for herself, you know what I mean, but
Right.
she voiced her opinion. She spoke her mind, and if need be put in place, she'd do it. Like
Right.
she ran that relationship, and
That's
I was
good.
proud of her on that.
Now, what about friends? Do you approve or disapprove of certain friends? Or are you one that will tell your kids they can be friends with this one, but not with this one?
I've all her friends that she has told us about and introduced us to. I mean, I've approved of.
Yeah.
There she doesn't hang out with the wrong crowd.
Mhm.
She doesn't hang out with bad people. She's real smart when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And so, we've pretty much proved of all her friends that she's talked to us about and stuff like that.
Okay, so what if she had one that you thought was not really a good influence on her? Would you put your foot down, or would you just kind of watch it from a distance and see how she chose to do things?
Um, I think we will watch it from a distance before, like, we would watch it from a distance to see how the friendship became. But as far as like coming over and spending the night, I would have to see, okay, is how bad of a person is this? If they're just friends in school, that's pretty much as far as it's gonna go. Because
Mhm.
once you're out of school, you're out of school.
Mhm.
Because I feel like that parents need to monitor their kids' phones
Mhm.
because there is Snapchat. Snapchat's one of
Mhm.
the easiest things for kids to get on, and boom, the picture's gone. You
Yeah.
can get a boob picture, a wiener picture, and,
Mhm.
and it's gone. There's no trace of it.
Yeah. Well, and that's
And
another thing. These kids nowadays send stuff like that, but I always told my kids, listen, the internet's forever. You got kids that'll do that and then use it against you and blackmail you. So be very, very careful who you send that to. I understand that they're going to do that from time to time. I don't like it. I don't approve of it. But at the same time, if your boyfriend, girlfriend, you're sending that stuff, but be careful because they might not be your girlfriend or boyfriend tomorrow.
right, and
You could break
that's
up.
one thing that she knows, and that makes me feel good because she thinks about her future. I don't want
Yeah.
to be in college and see a picture I sent when I was 14 of stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Something inappropriate.
Right.
And we distilled that in her head, and it has stuck with her to
Yeah.
not do that. And it sucks because she don't have Snapchat. She does have TikTok and Facebook, but Snapchat's what we worry about the most.
Yeah.
Has she downloaded it and deleted it? Yeah, she has, and
Yeah.
she knows that we know, and what kid isn't gonna do that. But um, yeah, I think it's very important that there should be limitations on children's phones and teenagers' phones up to a certain
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
because of all the bad stuff out there. And
Yeah.
yeah, your kid might argue with you and rant and rave and hate you for it, but they'll thank you when they get older because as
Yeah.
soon as they have kids, they're gonna
Yeah.
say the same thing.
Mhm.
Becky, you're 10 years old. You're not getting on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
parents who do that, in my opinion, that to me that's not good parenting.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
good
Well,
parenting if you can let a child that young and that little be on social media because there's so
mhm.
many predators out there.
Yeah. Well, and with the friends, I never controlled my children's friends. But Brittany had got around one girl that I absolutely didn't like. It come to pass that later on I found out that her and the girl were doing pills, doing drugs.
Oh wow.
I put a stop to that so fast it made her damn head spin. Yeah, I told her that. I told her I will never control who your friends are, but when it comes to that, it's not going to happen. I put a stop to it right then, right there.
Because that's a life changing
Um,
event right there. That
yes,
will
yeah,
fuck
and
your future
so
up.
and she did listen. She stayed away from her after that. And she told the girl, I can't hang out with you anymore because my mama said I couldn't. But and she got grounded for it and stuff. But I wasn't going to tolerate that.
Right.
And when it comes to social media, I think now some kids are like, oh, how'd you do that? But my thing was, if you're going to have a cell phone, I am able to come in there and confiscate it, read all your texts, look at everything you're doing at any point in time I want to because I pay for that damn phone.
Yep.
And I would do cell phone checks randomly to see what my
Mm-hmm.
kids were doing online and everything else. And I'll be honest with you, I will say this. I was more lenient than Ronnie was. And because he was a stepdad to my boys, he always used to tell me, "You do what you want to with your boy," because I always had the final say. You do what you want to with your boys,
Right.
but I'm going to raise Josh and Brittany how I want to. And I'll be honest with you, they traveled a road less hard because Ronnie was very strict on Josh, very strict.
Right.
But Josh is glad of that now. He hated it then, but he loves it now. Now me, I've had my boys tell me that they wished I would have been stricter on them and they wouldn't have got as much trouble.
Oh,
Hmm. Yep.
wow.
So it goes to show you, I mean, it depends on the situation. But if I had it to do over with, I would have been a little
A
stricter.
little more stricter.
Yeah,
Now, I
but
will
not
say,
too strict.
yeah, that like I am a step parent. I don't look at myself like a step parent because I have been raising her since she was a little over a year old.
Mm-hmm.
So she damn near feels like, I spit her out my hoo ha. But one thing that I will say that I admire and love about Jason is he does let me have free reign, but we do come together on things
Mm-hmm.
too,
Mm-hmm.
and even though he's like, I can do what I want, I still run it by him,
Yeah.
just because in my head I know I'm not biologically her mom, even though she
Mm-hmm.
does call me mom at times and stuff like that, and looks at me like her mom. I will always run it by him and say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
is this what we should do? And he was like, you're her mother. He was like, why are you asking me? He's like, it's fine. He was like, do what you think is best because I know you will. But I
Yeah.
still run it by him. And
Yeah.
that thing when like in the beginning where you had said about you shouldn't be best friends with your kids and stuff like that. I don't believe that unless you can separate the two.
Yeah.
JoJo was my best friend, hands down. She is my ride or die. We go everywhere together, whether it's to ride uptown to get gas, whether it's to go to work or go get great. Like we do everything together. But she also knows that I'm gonna be a mama when I have to be a mama, and she listens.
Yeah.
And I love that about her because she's not thinking, "Well, God, you supposed to be my best friend. Why am I grounded?" Or, you
Yeah.
know, you supposed to be my best friend and you making me wash dishes. So
Yeah.
she understands and she'll call me her best friend. So we're able to be best friends, but also mother
Right.
and daughter. And you
Well,
and
now
Fifi
see,
look like y'all have that relationship too.
yeah, when I told you that at the beginning, that's what people always would say. That's the quote.
Yep.
You can't be your friend's kids, and that I don't believe that. I think you can
Mm-hmm.
be their friend and their
Mm-hmm.
parent.
You can.
If because the thing is, my kids always knew what I would be okay with and what I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Where I drew the
Mm-hmm.
line. They knew their limitations. And so if I needed to be strict, if I needed to be hard, if I needed to be a mom, I could damn sure be a mom and they will tell you that. But if I needed to be your friend, I wanted to be your friend too, you know.
Right.
Um
They
and
always
I think
know
my
the
kids
mother
turned out
card comes
okay. You
first.
know, they turned out good. Like I said, I made it
Yeah.
through all four of my kids. Be it Josh was married before he had his son. Both my boys was 27 when they had their kids, and Brittany's 25 and still don't have no kids. And
I
it's
can't
because I
wait for
was
Sissy to
open.
have little babies.
I
Auntie
can.
Holly can spoil the babies. And it's so funny because JoJo's like, I want a baby. I'm like, you'll get a baby when you get older.
Yeah.
You can give me some grandbabies then. She's trying to
Yeah.
convince me to adopt so she can have her brother or little sister. And I'm like,
Oh Lord, no.
you about to go to college in a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm
Who's
not
gonna be
starting
home with me? Yeah. And she's like, please, please give me a brother or a sister. And I was like, oh
over.
my god, youngin, I love you, but you're the only one I want. Like I never could have kids, but I couldn't ask for a better daughter.
Yeah,
And I I'm not sad that I couldn't have a daughter or a son. Like
yeah.
I cherish her and love her that much that I would want that my next child to be like her, to be that
Oh,
smart, sophisticated, and everything. So yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's just trial and error
it is.
being a parent. You never, yes, there's books out there, but there's not a book to tell you really what you need to know. It's trial
Right.
and error.
It is. It is. And y'all kids, take it easy on your parents. They're doing the best they can in every decision they make. They're doing it with your best interest at heart. They might not do all the things right, but don't be so hard to judge them and realize
Right.
that they're just humans too. But y'all, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. We hope y'all and learned something from it. But make sure you tune in. It's every Tuesday and Friday night at 11. I'm gonna get it right this time. We have 3 new series we want to start. It's Confessions, Ask Bridget and Holly, and Settle the Argument. Hit us up at bridgetandholly@gmail.com if you want to discuss any of those things. And until next time, y'all, love
Love
y'all.
y'all. Good night.
Bye.